Hello and welcome to my new video. Today I will talk to you about the books that I don't want anymore. I have quite a few. I accumulated them in, I think, half a year. So I think it's time to show you and get rid of them because they just take up place in my house. I don't think that I will talk much about them because some of them I haven't read. Some of them I read but didn't like, or I have 2 copies of those books, so I don't need that many. So maybe just begin. The first book is The Dark by James Herbert. It's a horror novel. To be honest, I don't remember very much about it, only that it was too weird for me. Not spooky, not creepy, just weird. And I struggled to read that book, so I don't want it anymore at my house. It's an old copy, so I don't know what I can do with it. I'm not sure if someone will want it. I think I just give it to the second-hand shop. Maybe someone will enjoy it more than I did. The second book is by Lucinda Riley, De Syv Søstre. It's Norwegian edition, and it is, I think, the first book in the series. I want to read this series because I heard a lot of great things, but I have 2 copies, so I don't need this one, so it's going. The third book is A Whisper of Roses by Teresa Medeiros. As far as I know, it is a historical romance, but also I have few copies of this story, so I don't need this one too. Another one is Beside Myself by Anne Morgan. It's a thriller, and as far as I remember, no, I don't remember anything. I just remember that I struggled to read that book also. It took me a lot of time. It was very boring and none of the characters were likable. So I think I gave it 1 or 2 stars. Yeah, so this will go and maybe someone else will enjoy it more than I did. Also, it's Fear, Essential Wisdom for Getting Through the Storm by Thich Nhat Hanh. I tried to read this book, read maybe 2 or 3 pages, and I think it's... this will be the story of this video. As far as I remember, I think it was too religious for me. I don't know, maybe. It should be a self-help book, but it made me mad reading it. So it also goes. Also we have a Norwegian edition by Emily Shep, Vittespor. It was a thriller also, and it took me quite a while to read and I couldn't get into that book, so I think I'm sure that someone else will appreciate it more than I did. We have a book by Ruth Ware, Ian Mørk Sko. It's also a Norwegian edition of In the Dark Woods, I think, by Ruth Ware. In the Dark Wood. I want to read that book because I like other books by Ruth Ware, and I have 2 copies of this one, so I want to keep the hardcover one. So maybe someone will enjoy having this. The other one is Eliora, The Road to Nowhere is Calling by Jodie Cleghorn. I won this book, I think, on Goodreads quite a while ago. And it's very short, also horror story. But it wasn't spooky or interesting, to be honest. Sad to say. and so I want to get rid of this one too. I've got this book for free with a lot of other books from my co-worker. It does dance and moves for telling. It's also a Norwegian edition. I think it's about I think it's mother that tells the story of a daughter who is dead. I'm not sure. I can be wrong, but I don't know. I don't want to read books like that. It's triggering for me. I don't know what it is about stories like that, but when I became a mom, reading stories or hearing stories about child loss, it's just not what I need to hear. So maybe someone else will like this book. Also, we have The Wedding Challenge by Candice Camp. I have 2 copies of this book. One is in English and one is Norwegian, and I like the Norwegian book cover more, so this one will go. The same story with Nora Roberts' book Med skjønnhet som våpen. It's a Norwegian copy, and I think I have English copy with a prettier cover, so I think I will keep another, and this one will go. We have Snow Barnett by Eowyn Ivy. I think the English title is The Snow Child. I'm on the fence with this one because I have read this book and I remember quite liking it. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was okay story, but I think I have the Lithuanian edition back in Lithuania. I'm on the fence with this one. I think it's just stay with me a little bit longer before I get that other book. We have En duft av snö by Nora Roberts. So I also have another copy, I think in English, and I think the cover is much prettier than this one, so this one will go. We have Norwegian edition of Princess Diane history, Hennes egen historia. I'm also on the fence with this book. I don't know if I should give it a try or get rid of. Another story is also in Norwegian. I think it's about a boy who has a cancer. So I know that it can be a very important book or important story to read, but I just can't force myself because I know I will need a medication through, I think, after reading stories like that. So I can't do this to my health, my mental health. So maybe someone else will enjoy this book much more. I don't know where I get this book because I don't smoke. I think it was also came with the books that I got for free. I think a month ago. It was between that book, so I don't need it. Maybe someone else will need this book because none of my family smokes. So another story, another book, a novel by Chris Ross Leon, Evanescence. Oh yeah, a very huge font, and I remember that I didn't like that book, sadly to say. I think I also won this on Goodreads, I think 3 or 4 years ago. It's about a guy who goes on the road trip, gets in some very weird town or something like that. The synopsis sounds very interesting, however the book wasn't. By Andre Bjerk, De dødes skjern. I think it's also a thriller, and as far as I remember, I tried to read that book. I read maybe 2 or 3 pages, or think maybe a little bit more, and I wasn't interested, so I just gave up on that book, and I'm sure someone else will like it. En Selvständig Kvinna by Candice Camp. It's like with another historical romances that I show you. I have a copy in English, An Independent Woman, and it has much prettier cover than this one, at least for me, so I think I will give this one away. Same thing with Flink Picke by Gillian Flynn. Original title of this one is Gone Girl, and I think I have somewhere, yeah, so I have another English edition, and I prefer that much more than this one, so I will give this away. A Dangerous Man by Candice Camp. This one is English edition, and I have Norwegian edition. Same story. I prefer that book's cover more than this one. The Marriage Beggar by Candice Camp, the same story. I have I think Norwegian edition in a little bit prettier cover. The same story with The Courtship Dance by Candice Camp. I will give this one away too. The last book is a classic. I think as far as I remember, I tried to read this book in school. Also, I tried to read it after I finished university. I thought maybe it was just wasn't the right time to read that book, but reading the second time I also didn't like that book, so I think maybe someone else will like it more. It's Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. So it's English edition. So I hope someone else will enjoy this book much more than I can. That is all books that I'm planning on of giving away or selling. And yeah, I think I will see you in my next video. Bye!